going to be different. I don't know. So I said 20 to 25 slides, 20 to 25 lines per poem. Everyone else is going to be different. Okay. Any other
Miss,
questions?
is it okay to put like one picture behind the lines? Like you put the stanza over the line, over the picture?
Not if you can't see the pictures.
No. You could see the picture behind the words.
Okay. Is it only one picture per slide?
Yeah.
Okay. You're supposed to have more than one picture. How many lines of poetry is it?
I'm doing it stanza by stanza, so.
So you're going to have one picture for one stanza? No, that's not enough
Yeah.
pictures. That's not enough pictures, Tasia.
Okay, thank
The
you.
whole point of this CPT is to be a visual. It's a visual poem.
Miss.
Yes?
So on our slideshows, for example, for the first stanza, we could break it up into 2 lines per slide, and then
Sure.
the next one can be just the whole stanza by itself, right?
For this, no, you can't. How many lines are in a stanza?
No, so what I'm saying is for the first stanza, if you split it, so that's 2 slides.
Mm-hmm.
For the second stanza, can you put that whole stanza on one slide by itself, or does that also need to be split into 2?
It doesn't matter, but it depends. How many lines is it?
Miss, like 4.
Okay, that's fine. Because maybe the idea is all in one in that stanza, right?
Okay, and Miss, for the poem, for mine, it's like a situation, but mainly it's not the whole thing, is a situation, and then I explain how she felt throughout the beginning. That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Are you doing
it has
that?
a bits and pieces of situations that happened to her.
Okay, but you're supposed to focus also on her feelings towards them. Her thoughts and her feelings. Who's your character?
I did Angel.
Angel, okay.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Okay. Any other questions?
Miss, regarding the figurative devices, do we need to explain why we chose those devices?
No, just do what you did in your other poems. Just write the device and the sentence that reflects that device.
Okay, so we don't need to explain them, right?
No, that's okay.
All right, okay, thank you.
Anything else? I'm looking forward to your CPTs. I love this CPT. It's creative. It's so much better than an essay. Oh, did everyone hand their CPTs? Make sure you hand your CPT to Google Classroom before you present so that we don't have to keep logging on and off the computer. Okay, it was so much faster with my grade 10s today. I just opened Google Classroom and we just went that way and it was so much faster. Okay, take out your questions for the poem, I Lost My Talk. So this is the poem we read where she's discussing how she lost her language at residential school. Let's see, number 1, what do you learn about the speaker of the poem from each stanza? Let's start with stanza 1, since you had to go through each stanza. Jason?
So for stanza 1, she lost her language and identity at the school she attended.
Very good. How many of you, did anyone here? I know I taught lots of you last year, but I don't remember if I taught you semester 1 or 2. If I taught you semester 1, you read Indian Horse with me. Raise your hand if you read Indian Horse with me. Okay, so there's at least 3 people. All right, so that's a book by a Native author, and it's an autobiography where he tells the story of his experiences at a residential school. And in one of those, one of the experiences he remembers is when one kid at the residential school spoke his native language, and they shoved soap in his mouth and he choked on it and died right there in front of the whole class. Okay. So one of the reasons why they weren't allowed to speak their own language was because they wanted to take away their identity, to take away their culture. You take away their language, you take away their identity. All right, stanza 2, Chelsea.
I said she learns like the people in charge of the residential schools. She begins to speak just like them, and she also creates like them, and because of that, she loses her own identity.
Very good. So she starts to speak their language, and she loses her identity in doing so. Stanza 3, Leba.
Oh, Miss, I wasn't here for the poem.
Okay. Jasmine.
In the third stanza, I learned
Can't hear you, and a little louder.